Women's labor force participation, LFPR, plays a crucial role in economic prosperity and household decision-making. Economist Claudia Goldin, a Nobel laureate, has shed light on the historical and contemporary gender disparities in the labor market. Globally, women's LFPR remains relatively low, with a decline in developing nations, including India. Married women often experience decreased LFPR due to factors like limited education and societal pressures. The economic impact of their non-participation is significant. To promote women's empowerment, solutions such as enhancing daycare services, secure transportation, and part-time job options are essential to increase married women's participation in the labor force.
India's urban areas, despite driving economic growth, are failing to meet health, environmental, and equity goals for their residents. Cities face significant health risks due to high levels of air and noise pollution, limited green spaces, unhealthy diets, and lack of physical activity. Cardiometabolic diseases like heart disease and diabetes are on the rise due to these factors. Transforming urban infrastructure, promoting active transportation, and encouraging healthier diets are vital to improving public health. Investments in clean energy and electric mobility must be accompanied by changes in other systems like food, mobility, and green infrastructure to have a significant impact on health outcomes. Public health needs to be a central consideration in urban planning policies to combat diseases effectively.
Bhutan's Foreign Minister Tandi Dorji's unprecedented visit to China included boundary talks, a significant development as the nations lack diplomatic ties. Both countries signed a cooperation agreement for boundary delimitation and demarcation, suggesting progress. While India remains cautious due to its special relationship with Bhutan, the Bhutanese Prime Minister assured any agreements would not undermine Indian interests. Bhutan's reliance on India implies collaboration. India should align strategies with Bhutan, respecting its interests, particularly concerning territorial swaps, and approach negotiations understanding Bhutan's concerns. A balanced border deal respecting both nations' interests is crucial.
Poland's recent parliamentary election marked a significant shift, with the right-wing Law and Justice Party, PiS, in power since 2015, facing voter backlash. PiS, accused of undermining liberal democracy and clashing with the EU, emerged as the largest party but fell short of a majority. The centrist Civic Coalition, led by Donald Tusk, now has an opportunity to form a government with potential allies. Tusk promises to restore relations with the EU, strengthen democracy, and address social issues. However, challenges include forming a government, reaching consensus with the PiS-backed president, and managing diverse views within the coalition, highlighting the complexity of Poland's political landscape.
Human Rights Watch accused Israel of using white phosphorus munitions in Gaza, posing severe risks to civilians. Israel had used such munitions in the 2008 to 2009 Gaza war, causing international outrage. The use of white phosphorus, although toxic, is not covered by the Chemical Weapons Convention. However, Protocol 3 of the Convention on Certain Conventional Weapons regulates incendiary weapons, including white phosphorus, in an attempt to protect civilians. Strengthening Protocol 3 is crucial to prevent loopholes and ensure enforcement, upholding international law and preventing potential prosecution for war crimes. Adhering to these legal standards is imperative in armed conflicts to minimize harm to civilians and the environment.
Bengaluru Metro achieved a significant milestone by opening the full length of the Purple Line, connecting the city's eastern and western sectors, relieving 80,000 daily commuters. The line, covering 43.49 kilometers with 37 stations, became operational on 9 October and saw a 12% to 14% reduction in traffic volume along crucial corridors. However, last-mile connectivity issues persist, prompting the need for effective solutions to encourage more people to use the metro. Additionally, overcrowding on 6-coach trains remains a concern, highlighting challenges in managing demand. Despite these challenges, the Purple Line's completion marks a pivotal moment in Bengaluru's public transportation history.
The Palestinian territory's economy heavily depends on Israel for essential resources and employment opportunities. In 2021, over half of all items imported by Palestine came from Israel, and over 80% of exports went to Israel. Electricity, water, and fuel, major imports, are predominantly supplied by Israel. Israel's control over the territory's entry and exits leads to a permit regime, restricting movement and limiting opportunities. Unemployment rates are high, and many Palestinians work in Israel or its settlements, contributing significantly to the West Bank's GDP. The reliance on Israel, coupled with underpayment and constant conflicts, hampers Palestinian economic growth.
The Periodic Labour Force Surveys, PLFs, in India from April to June 2019 to 2023 show a persistent gender earnings gap. Men consistently earn more than women in all forms of work, with the greatest disparity observed among self-employed individuals. The gender gap in earnings increased for self-employed workers but decreased for regular wage workers. When considering hourly earnings, the gap significantly reduces for regular wage workers, falling from 11% in 2019 to around 4% in 2023. The decrease in inequality in weekly earnings was mainly due to rising hourly earnings for women, with hours of work remaining constant. Social norms that limit women's working hours need to be addressed to reduce the gender earnings gap effectively.
Allegations of fraud have rocked the field of behavioral sciences following accusations of data manipulation in several prominent papers. Harvard University professor Francisca Gino, a common author in these papers, faces controversy as the papers were retracted. The incident raises questions about why misconduct occurs. Incentive structures, pressure to publish groundbreaking findings, and lack of detection by reviewers contribute. Solutions include funding for replication studies, support for thorough quality control, and incentivizing researchers to detect fraud. However, scientific publishing structures also play a role, with journals preferring sensational results. A reevaluation of scientific norms and methods, along with embracing technologies like Open Science Framework (OSF), is essential for scientific integrity.